Greetings, fellow time travelers. Welcome back to Secrets of the Ancients, where we uncover the hidden mysteries of lost civilizations and dive deep into the secrets that shaped our world. I'm your archaeological guide, ready to take you on another mind-bending journey through the corridors of time. Today, we're about to solve one of history's greatest mysteries, a puzzle that has haunted archaeologists for over 2,000 years. We're talking about none other than Cleopatra, Egypt's most legendary queen, whose final resting place has remained hidden in the shadows of time. But here's the incredible part. We may finally be on the verge of one of the most spectacular archaeological discoveries of the 21st century. Before we unveil these incredible secrets, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss the ancient mysteries we're about to reveal. Picture this. Somewhere along Egypt's northern coast lies the ancient city of Taposiris Magna. Today, very little remains of its former glory, but what lies beneath the sand could hold the key to solving one of history's most famous enigmas, the mystery of Cleopatra, one of the most memorable queens in Egyptian history. But here's what will blow your mind. Archaeologists have just discovered something extraordinary, a secret tunnel 13 meters deep, buried beneath the earth and partially submerged in water. And get this isn't just any tunnel, it's an ancient geometric marvel that rivals one of the greatest engineering feats of antiquity. The construction techniques are remarkably similar to the Eupolinian tunnel on the Greek island of Samos, an incredible ancient wonder that was built by digging simultaneously from two different points to meet perfectly in the middle, cutting straight through a mountain. The mathematical precision required for this feat was absolutely mind-boggling for that era. Now here's where our archaeological detective story gets really exciting. Dr. Kathleen Martinez, a brilliant archaeologist, has spent decades studying ancient documents and temples around Alexandria, and after years of meticulous research, she reached a stunning conclusion. Cleopatra's tomb must be hidden somewhere beneath the ancient city of Taposiris Magna. Why this location? Let me share the fascinating clues with you. First, the city and its temple were built by one of Cleopatra's own ancestors, Ptolemy II. The entire architectural design indicates that this city was dedicated to the ancient god Osiris and his queen Isis. Now here's the crucial connection. Throughout her entire reign, Cleopatra deliberately associated herself with the goddess Isis, so it wouldn't be surprising at all if she chose this sacred place as her eternal resting place. But wait, there's more evidence. Inside this newly discovered tunnel, archaeologists have found incredible artifacts, clay pots, dozens of coins bearing the faces of Cleopatra and Alexander the Great, and even a bust depicting the Egyptian queen herself. Fellow explorers, modern technology is helping us unlock these ancient secrets in ways our predecessors could never imagine. Since 2004, archaeologists have been working at this site, and recently they've employed a special device called ground-penetrating radar. This amazing tool allows researchers to analyze what lies beneath the earth without having to excavate first. This is incredibly important because the tunnel is so ancient that research must be conducted with the utmost delicacy. Being able to see underground images before beginning to dig is absolutely invaluable, and this technology has been used at this site since 2011. But here's a challenge that makes this discovery even more dramatic. Natural disasters have occurred in the Taposiris Magna territory for thousands of years. Earthquakes and floods destroyed the city and may have flooded these underground tunnels. This means excavations might need to be conducted underwater and through mud, a painstaking process requiring tremendous time and financial resources. Now, let's talk about Cleopatra herself, because the real woman was far more fascinating than any Hollywood movie could capture. Despite her status as Egypt's most famous queen, Cleopatra wasn't actually the first choice to rule. She had an older sister, Berenice, who briefly occupied the throne, but was overthrown after just 3 years of reign. This is when young Cleopatra began preparing herself for leadership. And here's something amazing. She was only 18 years old when the reins of power were handed to her. But don't let her young age fool you. She immediately gained popularity due to her extraordinary intelligence and education. Cleopatra was a linguistic genius. Archaeological evidence suggests she mastered Greek, Egyptian, and Ethiopian along with numerous Arabic dialects. Some researchers even believe she could speak Latin, though evidence for this remains limited. Being multilingual wasn't just impressive, it was absolutely essential for governing such a diverse empire. But here's what really set her apart: her love of literature and learning. She was known to be fond of Homer's works, the famous Greek poet, and she loved writing as much as she loved reading. There are even suggestions that she may have written a book on medicine and cosmetics, though we have no proof to date that this work ever existed. Now, ancient seekers, let's address one of history's biggest misconceptions about Cleopatra: her legendary beauty. Hollywood has created the image of a dazzling beauty, with famous actresses portraying Cleopatra in spectacular films. The most famous portrayal was by Elizabeth Taylor in 1963, in what was then the most expensive film ever produced, costing an incredible $44 million. They created 79 complete sets and more than 26,000 costumes. But here's the truth that might surprise you. Recent research suggests Cleopatra may not have been as physically beautiful as she's often depicted. If you examine coins from her era showing her profile, her appearance leaves much to be desired. However, ancient texts consistently describe her other remarkable qualities: her eloquence, her personality, her intelligence, rather than focusing on her physical beauty. What made men fall for Cleopatra wasn't just physical attraction, it was her incredible charisma, her brilliant mind, and her masterful understanding of power and persuasion. Let's travel back in time and discover how this legendary queen actually lived her daily life. Cleopatra paid great attention to her appearance, starting with her diet. She enjoyed simple meals, particularly a variety of fish, which makes perfect sense since she lived near the Mediterranean Sea. As a special treat, she loved stuffed pigeons, which she also served to her guests. Other items on her royal menu included vegetables, bean soup, fruits, nuts, and she was a great lover of honey. And here's something fascinating. Experts recently tried to recreate her famous perfume. Think of it as the ancient equivalent of Chanel No. 5. Cleopatra was known to be a great lover of luxurious perfume, believing it could even influence how people perceived her. The base of this perfume was myrrh, a resin harvested from a local tree, mixed with cardamom, olive oil, and cinnamon. The result may not be as fragrant as modern perfumes, and its consistency was much thicker, but the scent lasted much longer. She even had her own personal stylist. Most images you've seen of the famous queen show her eyes outlined in black coal. This iconic look was created by Eris, a servant known to have been her cosmetics expert. Eris would draw a long line from Cleopatra's eyes to her temples, a makeup technique still used today to enhance the eyes. Eris was reportedly an important figure throughout Cleopatra's life, also serving as her confidant and closest friend. Now, fellow history detectives, let me share one of the most spectacular examples of Cleopatra's genius for theatrical presentation. When she needed to win over the powerful Roman general Mark Antony for diplomatic purposes, she didn't just send a simple invitation. Oh no! She arrived to meet him on a golden barge with purple sails and silver oars. Cleopatra was dressed as Aphrodite, the goddess of love, seated beneath a magnificent canopy. Her servants, disguised as cupids, fanned her while burning incense. But Cleopatra created such a spectacle for a very specific reason. She knew that Antony revered Greek mythology and considered himself the incarnation of Dionysus. This woman impressed him so much that he eventually married her. Through this brilliant theatrical display, Cleopatra defended her crown, strengthened her alliance with Rome, and gave 3 children to Antony. This wasn't just romance, it was masterful political strategy wrapped in unforgettable spectacle. But here's where our story takes a dramatic turn. Ancient seekers. The relationship between this high-ranking Roman official and the Egyptian queen caused a scandal in Rome. Octavian, Julius Caesar's adoptive son and Antony's main rival, exploited the situation to tarnish his competitor's reputation. He used propaganda to portray Cleopatra as a cunning seductress in the eyes of Roman citizens, accusing Antony of having succumbed to her charm. The Roman Senate supported Octavian and declared Cleopatra an enemy. In 33 before our era, this conflict reached its climax when Antony's navy faced Octavian's fleet. Octavian won decisively, forcing his enemies to flee to Egypt. And now we come to one of history's greatest mysteries. How did Cleopatra actually die? According to some legends, she was an expert in poisons and may have provoked the bite of a venomous snake, either a viper or an Egyptian cobra. Another legend suggests she pricked herself with a poison needle. One theory proposes that Cleopatra always carried a vial of poison in her hairbrush, and when cornered, she soaked a needle with poison and pricked herself. But here's the truth. None of this is certain. Scientists are still trying to discover what really happened. Perhaps when they finally reach Cleopatra's tomb, the world will get more answers about her tragic fate. Before we conclude today's journey, let me share some mind-blowing facts that will give you perspective on just how ancient and significant Cleopatra's era was. Did you know that more time elapsed between Cleopatra's reign and Neil Armstrong's moon landing than between Cleopatra's reign and the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza? Armstrong set foot on the moon in 1969, 2,038 years after Cleopatra's birth, but the Great Pyramid was built in 2560 before our era. Imagine the incredible length of ancient Egyptian history. Cleopatra is actually closer to us in time than she was to the pyramids. At the height of her glory, Cleopatra may well have been the richest person in the world. She ruled over a territory stretching across the Mediterranean, from modern-day Libya in the west, through Egypt, all the way to Syria in the east. In today's currency, her fortune could have been around $95 billion. And here's another fascinating contribution. The calendars we use today may have been introduced by Cleopatra herself. She's the one who reportedly presented the idea of leap years and intercalary days to Julius Caesar. Following her advice, Caesar made these adjustments an integral part of the Roman calendar. Now, I want to hear from you, ancient seekers. What do you think about this theory? Do you believe Cleopatra's tomb lies beneath Taposiris Magna? What aspect of Cleopatra's life fascinates you most? Her political genius, her romantic relationships, or the mystery of her death? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to Secrets of the Ancients and hit that notification bell so you never miss our archaeological adventures. In our next episode, we'll be traveling to another incredible ancient mystery that will absolutely blow your mind. Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep uncovering the secrets of the ancients. This is your archaeological guide, signing off on another